a zone, 6-story, East Atlanta, baby. $1 million, baby.
I gotta switch it up, I'm running out of options. Damn bad, it ain't no money in my pockets. I've been smoking, I've been going through withdrawals. I ain't had no choice, a nigga couldn't make deposits. I tried it all and still the shit ain't never changed. I pray to God there's gotta be another way. Quit that job, I gotta go and make a name.
Hey everyone, I'm your host Janae, and welcome back to Model Release. Today on Model Release, I'm joined by an artist, lyricist, creative, dare I say, creative director and CEO of Keeping It P. From the A to LA, Will Hill, welcome to Model Release.
What's good? What's going on?
What's poppin'?
What's up? It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, I'm happy to have you. I know you're touring right now. You just dropped your project. You should know.
Yep.
We're on the champagne campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
got it down pat. Yeah.
we took a few shots, so I'm a little lit over here. I just wanted to get into your story, but before I say all of that, I just want to give you your flowers and let you know that your music is just like top tier, from the lyrics to your just creativity, and all of the marketing that you put behind your music is just like really up there. So I'm excited to see where you take everything, because I know you're going to go far.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So as I mentioned, he just dropped his project, You Should Know. So what should the listeners or fans, or maybe even people that don't know you, what should they know before they press play on this project?
Before they press play on this project, they should know in life you're going to have ups and downs. And I feel like this project is like a representation of that for me. I've given albums that have kind of been more just for a feeling and just given a mood or a vibe, but this one was a lot more vulnerable and just kind of dug deep into who I am as a person and just the trials and tribulations that I've been through. That's something that people should know. Just in life, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, but you just got to keep pushing through, because you never know what's on the other side of the work that you're putting in.
That's funny you say that, because I've listened to multiple projects you put out, and even this one, I felt like each song was different in quality, but it was like an anthem, and every bar was like so like deep. I was like, I relate to that. Like each bar of each song could be like a standalone. That's how I really feel.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So
Thank
that's
you.
fire. Was there a moment when you were making this album where you felt like this is really where I'm like meant to be?
It was the first song. You Should Know was the first song that I made on the project that actually made it to the project. But when I made it, it just felt like it felt different. You know, it felt like I was entering into a new realm with the music, and it just felt like something new was happening. And me and Hollywood Cole, we've been working for a while. When I sent it to him, he was in the studio, and he's close with Don Cannon, and he played it for Cannon, and Cannon was like, "Oh, he cold."
Yeah.
So when he said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, we got something. We need to make something happen." And so we just kept working. The process of the album's probably been around 2 years, maybe 2+ years. The last time we all came to LA, we were working on the project, and that was the start of it. And so just within those 2 years, we've been able to really craft something. But yeah, You Should Know was probably the one that just felt like, oh yeah, this is something we could work with.
That's fire. I know that you're, from both Chicago and Atlanta, right? Based in Atlanta.
I was born in Chicago, but I was 6 months old when we moved to Atlanta.
Okay, so
yeah, me, my mom, and my older sister moved to Atlanta.
Okay, dope. I think the cool thing about your music is it's very distinct. Like, you do have that Atlanta feel to it, obviously, but you have that West Coast vibe that adds another layer and just makes you like kind of one of one in your music.
Yeah.
Right now, what does Atlanta mean to you personally and musically?
So my mom is from Inglewood.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
where you get
That
the
makes
West Coast
sense.
from. So
Okay.
my dad is in Chicago. Like I said, I was born there, moved to Atlanta when I was 6 months old. I've been in Atlanta, so I was raised there. But the West Coast vibe is what I get from my mom. So Atlanta to me is home. You know, it just represents kind of everything that I've grown to be. At the same time, I want to transition a little bit and just figure out where I can take it to. Atlanta's a really good place to be creative. You can hone in on your skills, but I feel like I really want Atlanta to have more infrastructure as a city so that all the talent can be shined on out there, to be honest with you. So I feel like right now in my life, Atlanta represents a transitional period.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like Atlanta is going through a transitional period, and I really want it to shine. I really want all the talent that's coming out of Atlanta to shine, and I don't want it to be so one track focused. Everything is so trap related. And I feel like there's so much more talent in Atlanta that's not trap that can be highlighted, to be honest with you.
What would you say the biggest difference between Atlanta and LA is from a creative standpoint, or like what you can get out to the people?
It's just a difference in culture. Atlanta's a real strip club, trap heavy type of culture that's been cultivated over a certain period of time. LA is just a different vibe, and just musically, the way we listen to music is different. Like LA, you're gonna feel like this, you know?
Yeah.
Atlanta is gonna be more like,
Yeah.
it's just different. Like they're similar in the same aspects. Like they're both media hubs, music, entertainment, everything like that. I just think that Atlanta is, I don't want to say in its infancy stages, but it's still a lot of growth that has to happen in Atlanta. It's a major city, but it's not LA yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I noticed that even with, artists that are huge and under major labels, they still are making music there, but they are coming to Miami, New York, or LA to really get it popping.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying.
Because the infrastructure is in those places, you know. In New York, you can have a lot of business meetings and there'll be a lot of money there. In LA, there's the entertainment business and you can make a lot of money there. So you have to strategically place yourself in those places to make the money.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, it's a creative hub, and you can go and talk to all the different artists, and it's just so much creativity in those places that you can cultivate and just grow a movement. But the infrastructure, when you try and put together a media run, or when you try to do any type of business at a record label, it just is so much harder to happen when all the record labels are either based in LA or New York.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I know you've done different performances, from live performances, and you also have done your home sessions, which I think are super dope. Haven't really seen somebody do something exactly like that. How do you create your community, I guess, in Atlanta, with that being said about the infrastructure?
A lot of these people are people that I've known for a long time. And aside from me, my manager, Schoon, he throws events, parties, and things like that. So he has his own community of people that he can pull in and help kind of cultivate that community in Atlanta. But these are just people that I know or meet that are in the music industry, or just regular people, and they'll be like, yo, I want to come to a home session. And I try to accommodate as many people as I can that are cool, you know. I don't know,
That's the hard part. I feel you.
People in my crib. But yeah, no, I wanted to do something that felt a lot more intimate and organic. And I kind of meshed some ideas that were already out there, and I was like, I haven't seen anybody do this. Let me try it. It really started with other events that we were doing. We were doing passenger princess events. So we took girls to the movies. We did a Barbie
for the ladies
screening. Yeah, we did a yoga with Will Hill. We did a wine tasting with Will Hill.
I like that.
We did a hike at Runyon Canyon.
Okay, dope. I feel like I remember seeing that. That's dope.
You know, just trying to build events and build community.
Yeah.
To keep people engaged. But it's also just about having connection. We human. We should all be kind of connecting with each other. So that's where all that came from.
I think that's dope. I think things like the home sessions you do, I think the world is kind of moving in that direction. Like a lot of people, even after the pandemic, they don't want to be outside as much. They want to have community. They want to build those relationships. So I think that's dope that you're doing that.
Yeah. The pandemic was so weird, you know, like that, and it's so crazy to even think about that happened. You know, like thinking back,
it is
on
crazy.
It, like, that was reality for everybody for a little minute. So it's just like, damn. Now coming back out of that, like, okay, we could be human again.
Yeah,
we could have
come
fun.
Outside.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the beginning. Take us all the way back. And what were your, first memories of music where you really wanted to pursue this?
My first memories of music really come down to family. So my older sister was playing Outkast and Ludacris when I was younger. And she's like 13 and a half years older than me. So,
Oh, wow.
you know, she's in high school and I'm like 5 years old. So she's playing Outkast and I'm like, oh my God, my big sister playing, you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool. My mom was always playing the old school music, everything from the 70s, because that's what she grew up on. So she's playing Parliament, Funkadelic, but she's playing Sade too. She's
Sade,
playing
yes.
Prince. She's playing everything that's from that 70s to 80s era because that's what she's used to listening to. My dad played the drums recreationally. He was never in a band or anything like that, but he played the drums. So with all of those different influences, I was just around music and I just took a liking to it.
Okay, dope. I feel like even just hearing all of that influence that was, you know, on you, I feel like that comes through your music too. You
Yeah.
have like very dynamic music across your projects.
I pride myself on having a really diverse music palette. I listen to so much different music. Nowadays, it's so few and far between because when I'm making a project, it's kind of hard to listen to other music. I'm really locked in trying to figure out if I can listen to this song 30 plus times, I know this is one of the ones.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm doing.
You know, like I know it's one of the ones.
I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm paying the rent with
Thank
my with my streams
That's
right
hard.
now.
But yeah, when you can play one back to back to back and it just invokes an emotion, and me as the artist, and I'm like, okay, this made me feel something. All right.
Yeah.
Because we recorded like 25 songs for the project.
Yeah.
At least. Out of the 25, we dropped 12. So those
They're fire,
12,
though.
thank you. Those 12 are like, okay, this made me feel something.
Yeah.
You know?
Fire. How do you balance your creativity with the business side of things and like just the artist?
That's deep. That's deep because I don't think I've ever talked about that. It can get difficult. I'm so involved in both sides because I've been doing it for so long. I had to play a lot of roles by myself for a long time. And it's tough, especially when like I have certain standards. So communicating those standards isn't always the easiest thing to do. But I have a patient team, and so I'm able to build with them and just make things happen. It's difficult at times just to balance the two sides, but I'm getting better at just letting go of the reins and just, you know, being more artist than anything because that's where my efforts need to be. But it's tough, but
I feel you. It's hard.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Who's like the person behind the camera and like the visuals? Because I feel like no one is fucking with you on the visuals for real.
It's a team effort. I'm not gonna lie to you. My guy Manny, my guy Dennis, me and Schoon, we're all just hands-on, making it a team effort, just formulating ideas and kind of working through the ideas through all of our thought processes and making sure that everything looks good, sounds good, and just translates to everybody. I can't take all the credit. I formulate some of the ideas. Schoon does too. We all do. And with those ideas, we just keep cooking until it makes sense.
Yeah.
And with me, some people might think that this is a toxic trait, but to me, I always want to be better. So I'm gonna look at something and I'm gonna pick it apart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick it apart and I'm gonna just be like, damn, okay, where could we have done better? And I look at that with everything that we do. Like, what could have gone better? How can we come with the better outcome in any situation? I'm kind of a perfectionist, so
I feel you. I feel like all true creatives are perfectionists, so it can be hard. It can be kind of debilitating sometimes because you want to get content out, projects out, music out, but you want it to be top tier.
Yeah.
So just trying to find that balance is, you know, a never-ending process.
Yeah, because you want your talent level to match your taste level.
Yeah.
You know?
For
and
sure.
That's the learning curve of being an artist, is making your talent match your taste.
Yes.
And once you get that locked down, then that's when everything starts to make sense and really go in the direction that you want it to.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people try to think about what audience they want to attract, and what we're talking about now is like being your own niche. Like you want to be the person that you want to follow, you want to see their music, you want to consume. So I think it's cool you're doing that way. That's how things last.
Yeah.
So what does a Will Hill studio day look like to you?
A Will Hill studio day is, I wouldn't think that anybody would assume what it would look like, to be honest with you. It's just me in my office I have a studio room. It's a microphone, computer setup. It ain't the best in the world, but it ain't the worst in the world either. You know,
Would have never guessed.
my dog be chilling next to me, just cooling, laying down on the floor, and I'm just kind of shuffling through ideas in my head, sitting in front of the microphone, listening to the beat and mumbling ideas. When I find something that makes me excited, that's when I lay it down. And when I feel excited about something, I feel like that's the energy channel. So I'm just like, okay, cool, we good.
That's dope.
Good. I'm there. So
Do you start your creative process by yourself and then add people in?
yeah, for the most part, every once in a while things change. I don't want to always be stuck to one working method because there's always room to learn and get better. So being in sessions with other people and learning new things, new ways of doing things, new techniques. I remember I was in a session with Hollywood Cole and Sienna Liggins one time, and she was telling us about stream of consciousness and how she would just write things down when she hears the beat. And it was just everything that came to mind. No pauses, no breaks, no anything. And she was just writing things down. And I was like, damn, that's dope.
Yep.
And it's helped me write a lot of songs since then. And so just taking different techniques and figuring out what works. I feel like that's the best thing to do. But don't be so stuck on one thing, because then you'll never learn. And if you aren't willing to learn, then you'll just be stagnant.
Yeah. I like the pen to pad technique. I think as creatives, we have so many ideas and we think that we could store them. We think they're going to resurface. But putting it into the physical is definitely a way to just make all of your ideas translate and execute at the end of the day. You described your music as player lifestyle music. Where did that philosophy come into play?
I can't take credit for that at all. I think people leave Jay-Z out of this conversation, and I'm not sure why, but I feel like he was one of the ones that, at least for my generation, that can go back. I can look at him and be like, that was one of my first examples. I know there were people before him that did similar things, but for my generation, I can look back at Jay-Z and say he was rapping about things similar, like champagne and clothes and watches, jewelry and things like that. And I can look at it and say, okay, this is the type of music that I'm kind of making.
Yeah.
More recently, you have people like Dom Kennedy and Currency and people like that, Larry June, that make lifestyle music. It's something that you can live to. So that's what I deem to be lifestyle music. And the player part is just being smooth, not trying too hard, being confident in who you are and just being yourself. I feel like that's everything that entails. And I can't take the credit for it. I got a brand. You know? Just gotta
for
keep
sure.
branding and show people what I am and who I am and what I'm capable of.
Getting into inspiration, who's inspiring you right now? Musically, it could be in film, an athlete, just anybody.
In film, really all around, it's my peers, because I can look directly at them and be like, y'all doing it. Y'all are doing what you need to do. And it's inspiring because it's like, okay, we kind of going, I don't want to say head for head because they're not competition, they're the homies. So I look at a Suave, a Ben Riley. I can look at people like that. And this is just in Atlanta because they're so close to me and I have direct communication with them. And those are the homies. But just looking at them and seeing the work that they're releasing creatively, it just makes you want to be like, okay, man, I gotta step my game up. I gotta match what my peers are doing. And it's one of those situations where steel sharpens steel. So, you know, having people that you're close to that are capable of doing things at a high clip is a blessing. Just having those people around you, because it just really keeps you so sharp. And I if anybody, I would have to say my peers. And those aren't the only people. Those are the people that come to mind right now. But in Atlanta, like when I'm looking at my peers and I'm just looking at people, those are the two homies that are making noise. And I'm just like, okay, y'all killing the content. Y'all going crazy. The music is just A1. And it makes me want to just keep going harder.
Yeah. I like that. I feel like having equally yoked relationships across the board, romantically, creatively, with friends, family, I think that's very important. And I've always thought like you can always be inspired by other people, but if you're over there looking at somebody else, you can never like replicate what that person's doing because you are you.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't act like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You could try, but you're gonna run out of ideas, and you're just gonna be waiting on them to do it instead of being who you are and letting that shine through. And you'll start seeing the results a lot more when you just show who you are, because it's so authentic. Everybody's gonna gravitate towards it.
So you said your project was a bit more vulnerable this time around. Is this a way of like therapy, or how do you separate, you know, being vulnerable but also protecting yourself at the same time as an artist?
That's a good question. To me, I do think that this was therapeutic for me. I was able to really talk about things that I was going through, and it made me emotional at times. And I wanted people to hear that rawness, because I wanted people to relate. And as a musician, it's weird because how things are today, like so content heavy, you have to show people who you are, and you have to teeter that line of how much do I give and how much do I keep for myself? What are my boundaries and things like that? But I think there's also a time to let everybody know that we're all human and we're all going through the same things at the same times. There's just slight perspective differences based on who you are and where you are. So it's give and take with everything, you know, but it's just a matter of, you know, your discretion, who you are, who you want to be. Some people are more personable. Some people don't mind sharing every part of their lives. But I'm a very private person. I'm getting used to being on the internet and content, all that stuff. So it's fun though. I look at it like a puzzle. Everything that we're doing, just from the aspect of trying to be successful in the music industry, is just, it's a puzzle to me. So I'm trying to figure out where I fit in and just how can I make everything work to me. Yeah. So.
Well, you're doing it. You're doing it. I feel like even things like Stick Up on the, you know, the first song on the project, like obviously what you're storytelling is kind of like a specific scene that you would have in your head, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But I just like how your music can be specific to situation, but it can be so broad, like everybody could feel it. Like people are really out here like on some stick up shit, like I gotta make this work. Like what are we trying to do? What options you got, you know? So
those were really introspective thoughts. It's like, damn, like I'm not gonna go rob nobody, but like, damn, I need this bread. And I feel like everybody's been at that point, like, what? All right, I have two choices. I'm at a fork in the road. What do I do that doesn't compromise my morals, my integrity, that I can do, and then make sure I'm straight as a, you know, just as a person. I feel like everybody's been there in some aspect. It might not be monetarily, but you've been at a fork in the road and had to make a decision.
Yeah. I think that now more than ever, just everyone is willing to, you know, do what it takes given the situation, given the state of the world. So I feel like your project is so relatable right now. How do you stay grounded in your identity as things evolve around you? With social media, trends, you say, you know, you gotta keep up, you gotta keep pushing stuff out and showing yourself, but still maintain who you are.
It's a mix between being humble and having people around you that are humble too. And just remembering that you're a human. You're not better than nobody, you're not worse than nobody. And understanding that is, I feel like, the first step of being grounded, because if you're delusional to the aspect that you feel like you're better than anybody, then you're going to treat it like that. You're going to treat people a certain way, looking down on them. And so we all eat, sleep, shit, do the same things. We all have different talents and different capabilities, but at the end of the day, nobody's better or worse.
Right.
And having people around you that think similarly is a key, because it helps keep that thought intact. Especially with people, they always say you are who you hang around. So it's like, just keep people around you that kind of share the same perspective. You know, everybody can have subtle differences and things like that, but you want people that at least share your morals.
Right.
Because that just keeps you on the right path. And I have great people around me.
Yeah, very important.
People, family, friends, acquaintances, people on my team, everybody, even my fans, every supporters, like everybody just cool, you know? And I feel like we share at least similar perspectives, especially if you listen to my music. It's like, oh, you here for a reason.
Yeah,
You share some type
absolutely.
of perspective with me. So just having those people around you and having the right mindset.
So for artists who are still in that, studio basement phase, what's something that they could be doing right now that will matter in 5 years? It'll put them ahead.
It's two things. It's two very important things. When I was young and I was an artist, everybody kept asking me, who do you talk to? What's your audience? I didn't understand it back then because it wasn't like a hot topic. Social media wasn't as big as it is, but it's branding. And your brand is who you talk to. And it's being able to go out in public and say, like, that guy dresses like he would be a Will Hill fan, or he does certain things that make him look like a Will Hill fan. Hey, bro, like, I think you would like this music.
Yeah.
Or, hey, so when it comes to something of like that nature, I feel like you should really be focusing on who you are and letting that be communicated through the music. That's the first thing. That's huge. Because if you don't have an identity, then you can't speak to people that are looking for something specific.
Right.
We talked about a niche, and it's like, if you don't have a niche, you have nothing. You're just trying to be so broad that nobody's going to be able to find you because you're not speaking to anybody.
Yeah.
You're trying to speak to everybody. And it don't work like that. It's like they always tell people in a accident, like when somebody needs help, they say, point somebody out specifically and tell them you call 911. You don't say somebody call 911 because nobody's going to listen. They're going to think somebody else going to do it.
Right.
You got to be able to talk directly to that person. And then aside from branding, it would have to be just keep working, keep being an artist, keep being creative, keep finding new things to do. And I got one more. The last one is data. If you want to be successful in anything, this isn't just music, you have to leverage data. That is the biggest and most important thing. And if you understand this, you'll really understand it. But any platform that you're using, if you're an entrepreneur, if they're a platform that is a middleman, they will keep the direct data away from you. And if they're keeping something away from you, that means that they're using it and they don't want you to have it, because that's what keeps them in business. So leveraging your data and understanding that that's what's going to drive your business is one of the most important parts of being an artist, because you can go directly to the people that have already supported you, instead of trying to keep casting a wide net and just catch, a few fish at a time. So data, keep working, and branding. Those are huge.
Good advice. Good advice. And also, like, just getting the reps in. I mean, Gucci is popping not just because of every song he put out is top tier, but I mean, he's gone viral or had a fan base off of a jail call, like, things like that. So I think those reps are important for sure. Getting into mental health and wellness. I know that you're independent, and independent means doing a lot. How do you, maintain a good state of mental health during all this balancing acts?
I feel like that just goes back to having good people around you. It's so important. And the importance of having good people around you and people that are aware is they can understand that all times won't be good times, and understanding when to push, when to pull, when to give in, when to, there's a really good discernment there. And having those people around is integral to anything. Without that, if you don't have good people around you, man, I feel like you might be kind of lost.
You're cooked. You're cooked at that point.
Like, and that's the point of having like mentors and people like that. Like, just people that you can always learn from, because there's nobody that knows it all. If somebody tells you they know it all, they're lying. They're lying. Nobody understands everything down to a science. And even if you do, there's still an element that can't be accounted for. And that's up there.
I agree. Having that sense of self is being able to ask for help. Otherwise, you're really cooked out here.
Yeah.
You're gonna be by yourself,
That's a
and it's
fact.
not gonna last. How do you separate your self-worth from numbers, whether it be likes, follows, streams, money?
Delusion. Delusion.
Yeah, gotta have that.
It's a sense of confidence that comes from knowing I have good taste. And like I said before, matching your talent to your taste level. It's a journey because when you first start making clothes, it's not going to be your best clothes that you ever made. Or when you make a song for the first time, it's not going to be your best song ever.
Yeah.
When you do your first podcast episode, it's not going to be your first or
At all.
your best episode, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like being in the gym. When you go to the gym, you get reps in, like you said, and you're able to grow the muscle and get the muscle memory and understand, like, okay, this is all going to pay off over time. It's just so important to keep getting it in.
Do you write and put out music for therapy, entertainment, legacy, or all of the above?
All, for sure. For sure. And it's crazy because I used to make music for the fun and the business of it. Business more so, trying to make a living out of it. Fun just because it was, you know, at some points cool to do and just fun. You know, it's not like clocking into a job or anything. But after a while, I started realizing that I should be doing this for legacy too. Like, if I'm choosing to do this, I should be the best at it that I possibly can be and push it to the limits. I don't think that I should just hinder myself for the sake of looking cool. And I feel like I've talked myself out of a lot by just trying to look cool. I feel like that's a trap that a lot of artists get put into. You want to look cool at all times, and it'll prevent you from doing so much. I had to get to the point where certain things aren't gonna always look cool per se, but at the end of the day, it's work.
Right.
And I'd rather be working at something that I love to do and I can live with than going to a 9-to-5 that I can't live with.
Right.
And at that point, I still don't look cool. I'm going to do something that like I really don't like. And okay, so I could play it cool there, but I could go in front of a camera and I might do something that somebody think ain't cool. But at the same time, I'm doing what I love. I'm following my dreams. So that's cooler than doing something that's not me. You know?
Yeah. Plus, a lot of the time, people that spectate and have things to say are not the people that put themselves out there. So, you know, it's better to have an opinion about you because you put yourself out there to even have anybody say anything about you.
Yeah. It takes more guts to be up on the stage than in the audience.
Right.
You know?
Every single time.
Especially with the sticklers in the audience. It's like, you can't listen to them. They're just going, because they're going to trick you out of your position.
Right.
You're gonna be mad at what they said, and then you're gonna be right where they are.
Yeah.
Instead of just keep following through with what your vision is and making it happen.
So getting into inspiration and advice, who do you really do this for?
I do this for myself first and foremost. In some sorts, it feels like a calling. It feels like a purpose. I feel like this allows me to help other people. Like I said, first and foremost, it serves me, but it serves me to serve others. Inspiration wise, I pull from others because I just want to provide opportunity. I talked about Atlanta before and how it doesn't have much infrastructure, but I want to try to bring infrastructure to Atlanta in some way, shape, or form. And I want to be able to shine light on other artists. I want to build economies in other cities, and just because we're providing business like this tour. If you break it down for what it is, we're going to other cities and we are building into the economy. But we're just inserting ourselves into that economy. So being able to go to San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, and you know, bring DJs and local acts and camera people, photographers, videographers. You know, you're starting to build community in each city and economies in each city, and you start to form relationships and friendships and things like that. And that's super important as a human. I think that we thrive on connection. So I think it's important to do things for yourself, but also do things for others. So people that want to work and that want to shine and show the world what they're capable of, I feel like this is for those people.
Yeah, I think that's dope too, because I know you had the show last night. I went, it was fire. But I think it was really cool how you are coming from Atlanta, coming over here, and you're bringing local artists that I didn't even know about, you know,
Yeah.
to the show. I came here to see you, but now I'm learning about people that are right around me in LA. So I think that's super dope that and powerful that you have the ability to do that.
Thank you. It's really all off of relationships. I could go down the path of how I met all of these people, and I can trace it back to, you know, the person that I met and how I met them. And it's so important to have those relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I can come to LA and those people will show up. And even my boy Ashton McCray, he was telling me, he was like, man, you got real verified LA people pulling up and like
Facts. I
really
was
showing
like,
up
oh,
to your
shit.
show. Like Casey Veggies is
I
at
was
the
like,
show performing.
That was iconic.
You know?
Yeah.
And that happened through just so many pathways of networking that I was able to perform at a Dom Kennedy concert in Atlanta, and I was able to meet Casey there. And we didn't even make the connection at the show. We made the connection the day after at a studio session. And then we made the connection there, but that wasn't even what solidified it. It was another artist, 24 Hours, that I've known him for a decade plus now. And he was just able to solidify the relationship even more. And we, you know, me and Casey been communicating a little bit more. So just things like that, just having the right relationships is so important. It's so important.
What's a bar, yours or someone else's, that feels like advice or something you live by?
If I had to choose a bar, it would be off of You Should Know, the album and the song. It would be direction is more important than speed. Having intention is a lot more important than moving fast. If you know where you're headed, know where you're trying to go, then it's going to make the journey a lot easier for you and a lot more efficient than just trying to get somewhere fast. You're going to burn out trying to get somewhere fast, and then you're not even going to feel fulfilled. You're just going to be tired and at a destination that you ain't even want to be at.
Yeah.
I feel like that. And then you got to follow if you really want to lead.
Yep.
In order to be a leader, you really have to follow, listen, and take heed to what other people are saying. You can't be so stuck in your ways that you just are stuck.
Looking to the future, what is next for Will Hill in 2025, musically, personally, spiritually?
A overarching answer would just be growth. A more specific answer, out of delusion, I really want a Grammy for this album.
You deserve one. I truly stand on that. You deserve one.
Thank you.
For real.
I feel like, because a lot of music has just come out, I haven't listened to Freddie's album, but I feel like my album stand up there with, I also haven't listened to Tyler's album yet, but I put myself up there against the Clips, and I was like, the production and the storytelling is right up there, and I feel like I deserve a Grammy.
I agree.
But aside from that, growth and just continuing to keep the goal in mind, continuing to grow, build the data, and just keep on a path that makes the most sense. As a rapper, I have to keep in mind that a lot of people's frame to do things is short. And so I have to maximize my time with that window that's given to me and try to leverage it as best as I can. But I think that the biggest thing to do is just leverage the data.
Yeah.
Like we was talking about earlier, if you have a good database, then you can always thrive. I think I heard a story about how Tyler Perry has a crazy email list, and it's allowed him to really be successful because he's able to directly tap into everybody that's ever like directly supported him.
Yeah.
And when you have that, it's no way that people can kind of take away what you have, because what you have is directly attached to the people that want to give it to you,
Right.
instead of attached to an entity that controls the information that is being given to you, you know? So
I agree.
I think that's the biggest thing that I'm really focused on, is just building a database and connecting with people. It's not just numbers, you know, but connecting with people and just making sure that people feel seen by me and just, you know, making sure that everybody's having fun too. I want it
Yeah.
to feel like a movement. I want people to move. I don't want it to just be very sterile,
Yeah.
you know.
I feel you. I think being seen and having fun is just like the goal of life, really. If there were no limits, no budget, no rules, what's a dream project that you would like to partake in?
That's a good one.
Because you're already operating at a crazy level.
Thank you.
Honestly, when I think about creativity, I think about like just the things I've seen, and I feel like you and like some like lyrical lemonade is like really, that's it.
That's hard. If it was no rules, I want to do a project with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy, but like I want to do that. If not Jay-Z, this is a crazy I can't even think of the word, but I really want to rap with Freddie Gibbs. That
That'd be
nigga
fire.
be rapping, boy. He be rapping.
Yes.
I want Pharrell production.
You know what's so crazy? Well, one is my mom listens to Summer Nights on repeat when she works out.
That's hard.
But I was like, that song reminds me of Pharrell. I was talking to her about that. But yeah, it's crazy how the people you want to work with are people that I think of that relate to your music.
Me personally, I feel like me and Hollywood Cole are the new Jay and Pharrell. Like when we team up, I feel like we curate that same type of energy and vibe. Me personally, that's how I feel. So I'm very adaptable as a person, and I can step into any situation and still shine. I feel like, especially at this point in my career, I'm very confident in my abilities, and I feel like stepping in the room with Hove or Freddie, just anybody of that caliber would just really make me shine. Personally, I feel like I would step up to the occasion. And that's all I could ask for. I feel like I'm ready for whatever.
I mean, at this point, I feel like you would add the razzle dazzle to them.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
She said it, not me.
I love those artists too. I love those artists. Like Jay is my favorite artist. I have the same favorite number as him as a kid, all that. But honestly, like you really, you got it.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
When people look back on the body of work that you've created, your sound, your story, what do you hope people see and remember?
I just hope everybody says, oh my God, he was a real nigga.
Facts.
That's it. That's all I care about. I don't want nobody to think I was fake. I don't want nobody to think I had any ulterior motives. I just want people to think he was a real person. He expressed himself creatively. He lived a life that was filled with joy, happiness, and he helped other people. That's all I care about. I don't care about really anything else. I just want to leave a lasting impact on something in humanity. Instead of being self-centered and just, you know, trying to make sure that everything that I come out with in life is for me. I want people to feel like I helped a lot.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is real motion.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where you take all of this. And it's been so nice having you on. I think that you are so talented, so special. And I know that you're going to take it all the way. Because there's no other option at that point.
It's not. I appreciate you so much. It's a pleasure being here. I know we've been in contact for a minute.
The people obviously need to tap in if they haven't already. Where can people follow you and follow along your journey?
So everything on my socials is at Real Will Hill, spelled, you know, exactly how it sounds. realwillhill.com, and that's pretty much where you can find me.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Yeah.
Come on. Can't stop, won't stop, My block, your block, Cars to the crib, this shit big. Niggas don't know the shit that I did, Stick up, stick up, stick up, stick up.
Who's lit? Because I am.
Yeah, boy. All right, girl, with them damn chips.
The boom chicka pop is gonna be popping on these mics. How's he doing back there? You got a pulse?
He alive.
Can't be dying in my spot.
Stick up. Sticky situations, I might stick up. Hope my niggas never have to switch up.